Okay, here's another type of problem that my advanced students are always required to do. It's conversions. So if somebody asks you, let's say, 210 millimeters, and they want to know how many feet that is, for example, then you would say, okay, you start with what they gave you, and then you would say, put millimeters down here. And by the way, this technique that I'm about to show you, if you know how to do this, then it takes the thinking and the confusion out of doing these types of problems. All you have to do is set this up so that it's essentially a 1, where the top is equal to the bottom, right? Because you know, anytime the top is equal to the bottom, it's essentially a 1, which means you can flip it. So if I know that there's 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter, then I can write it like this, or I could write it like that. It just so happens to be I want the millimeters on the bottom. If this had been centimeters and then we were going to go to millimeters, I would have flipped this. And you have to understand that you can do that because 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. So that's just like if it was 2 over 2. It just doesn't look the same, but you do know that this is equal to that. So, like if they said over here, 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. That's usually kind of like the conversion tables you see. And you might say 2.54 centimeters are in 1 inch. So that's where we're actually going is, and you can look these things up. Since there's 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch, I can set this up like this, 2.54 centimeters. And the reason I'm doing that, this is very critical, I want this to cancel with that, right? Centimeters divided by centimeters, even though they're not numbers, they cancel each other. The millimeters are going to cancel, the centimeters are going to cancel, and what do we end up with up here? 1 inch, because this is equal to that. So I can, write it like that. And by the way, what did we say? I forget what I proposed, that this many millimeters is how many feet? Well, we could just keep going and say that 12 inches is 1 foot. And so the inches would cancel. And now we've gone from millimeters to feet. We would end up, if we multiplied this stuff out, we would end up with an answer that's feet. And we don't even have to really think to do that. All we have to do is, the only thinking we need to do is to make sure that this is equal to that and that the units are canceling. So now if we take 210 times 1 times 1 times 1, that's just 210 over 1 times 10 times 2. Just multiply all these and we'll get some number down here. So that's 10 times 2.54 times 12 equals 304.8, 304.8. So 210 divided by that, 210 divided by 304.8 equals 0.688 feet. So it's not even half a foot, right? Think about that. 210 millimeters is like definitely a fraction of a foot. But the miraculous part about this is that we didn't even have to think. There was no questioning because, oh, by the way, this has no meter or no units on the bottom. All we end up with is feet. This divided by that, voila. So it takes the thinking out of it. You can mindlessly convert and conquer these types of problems with absolute ease, and it's all because of setting up to where this cancels with that and that cancels with that. You just have to cleverly reduce it down to the units you're looking for. So there you go. That's how many feet 210 millimeters is.